comes our way. Hey, yeah, driving gonna make it happen. Take the world in a lemon embrace. Fire all of the guns at once and explode into space. Like a true nature child, we were born to be wild. We can climb so high, never wanna die. Born to be wild. Born to be wild.
All right, welcome back to Full Throttle TV and the Blackwater Products USA Truck Series. Tonight, we're live from Talladega Super Speedway. In the booth with me, Mr. Jared Carr. Jared, we got some Super Speedway action tonight.
Yeah, Dean, we do, and it's going to be a dandy of a race. We've had 6 different winners in 6 races here at FTSR at Talladega, and this season we've had 7 different winners in 7 races. So can we go 8 for 8 at Talladega? The odds say yes.
Yeah, the odds definitely say yes, and some of those drivers, Jared, that have not won are quite high up in the standings.
Yeah, we're looking at guys like Casey McMullin, guys like Terry Cooper. They're second and third, or sorry, not Casey McMullin. Guys, wow, if I could talk tonight. But Terry Cooper, TJ Bartel, those guys have not won yet. You're also looking at Joe Flanagan, Bernard Person, Ronnie Royal. Those guys all in the top 10 of points haven't won a race yet this season.
And as we look in on those points, you got Brian Helm leading with 244 points. Cooper Jr. 13 back, McMullin and Person 14 back, and then it's Royal, Bartel, Kirby, Terrell, Flanagan, and Marvel in your top 10. As we just kind of glaze over the rest of them, and maybe Jared, you can alert people to our rookie situation, and who is leading the rookie situation here?
Yeah, so far it's Justin Kirby. He sits currently up in that top 10 in points. He's 7th currently in points, 187 points. And then second place we Bill Benedict. He's back there, 18th overall, second in rookie, 158 back. So 158 total, 29 back. And then we have Jacob Reeves, who's making his debut this season, and he is currently 31 behind Justin Kirby.
Well, we'll look for those guys to have a good race and maybe make up some big time here on Kirby, the rookie points leader. Always a good crop of rookies here at Full Throttle Sim Racing. So we look in on the race info here from Talladega Super Speedway. And the weather tonight, you got 79 air temp. The track temp is 102 tonight, Jared. That's a little toasty here for Talladega.
Yeah, it is, and here at FTSR, they use the May 15th, the iRacing Day date, and for May at Talladega, 102 on the track, 79 on the air. That's pretty normal for that time of year in Alabama, and I expect these guys are going to have a little bit harder time controlling those trucks because that temperature is only going to go up.
Absolutely, it will go up. And as we look into the keys to the race here tonight, it's going to be teamwork. Of course, that's emphasized because you're going to need teammates. We're back to old style racing, more than likely green flag pit stops. You're going to have some teammates or friends to come in with and get out of the pits with. That goes right into key number 2, which is green flag stops. So those two together. And then, of course, Jared, do I even have to tell you what the third key is here at a super speedway?
Yeah, it's got to be the big one. I'm assuming. That's going to be a massive thing. Avoid those wrecks at this track, and that can be hard to do as we are about to start qualifying.
Yeah, we're just heading into this qualifying and avoiding the big one. Always paramount here on the super speedways. I mean, we've seen it ruin people's, races, ruin people's seasons, really, Jared. We broke it up into 2 races earlier in the year, and if you had a bad showing in both, it did not do well for you on this season.
No, it didn't, and it was a great idea to have that out there. I mean, the FTSR guys, it was such an intriguing idea, but there was a lot of risk, a lot of reward, because you look at a guy. Jason Martin, who won one of those races. He's been part-time this season, but that's a big win, regardless of how it is. A win's a win, right? But then you look at some guys like Bobby Terrell, who's not making the race tonight. Doesn't look like he had a bad race at Daytona both times, so that really set him back in the points.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think it's the format per se. It's just the nature of the beast. The same thing here could happen to someone tonight. I mean, any race where you can have a big one and it could end your night and you virtually finish last. That's a big points hit. As right now we look in on one of our rookies here, the 57 of Jacob B. Reeves, taking his qualifying time.
And Jake has been solid. Hasn't missed a race this year. And he had got a top 10 last week or 2 weeks ago at Richmond in a really nice run for him. So, it's always about, getting off to a good start. And there's still plenty of time for Jacob and Bill Benedict to catch up to Justin Kirby in that Rookie of the Year battle.
Yeah, absolutely. There is time out there. Speaking of times, as these guys take their qualifying times, maybe we'll take this time and take a short commercial break. We'll come back and have your starting order and be ready to go racing.
We are back at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, where the field is rolling out for the start of today's 400-lap race on this .625-mile racetrack. And just as the field comes all around turn number 4, the sunshine peeks through, helping warm things here. Bill Elliott leads him down. Benny Parsons on the outside. The green flag flies, and the first Union 400 Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead, and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison. Oh, here we go. It's just about to go away. They bump coming out of turn 4. Earnhardt gets the lead. We had just heard from our spotters that Neil Bryant. Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Welcome back to the Blackwater Products USA Truck Series here from Talladega Super Speedway, where as we see right now, Sherwood Williford out on the track taking his time.
Yeah, and Dean, I'm looking at these lists, and I'm looking at Wayne Grossi right now on the top of the board. He sits 10th in points right now. This would be his first career FTSR pole, so this could be pretty big for him. Right now we only have 17 drivers on the track that have taken times.
Yeah, not many putting down a lap quite yet. Grassi up there doing a nice job for sure. See Lane Allen sneaking into second up there. That's a nice time for Lane.
They're running out of time. So if you haven't got on the track, you're not going to get a time in. Now, Casey McMullin is going to get his time in. I do believe he's going to go to the pole, I think. And he does.
Wow, Casey McMullin straight to the top. Great job by him.
And that's a pretty big distance, Dean. That's 10th. 0.1, so that's pretty big.
Yeah, that is on a super speedway. That is quite big. He's got some speed tonight. I was watching him practice. Of course, Team Spear always really good at the super speedways. But Casey McMullin and Lane Allen, they're part of Blackwater. They've shown their speed here late in qualifying. But right now, Jared, I'm going to ask everybody to raise to their feet, take their hats off, and welcome Alicia Shipman to the stage for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting midair, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
All right. What an excellent job by Alicia Shipman there on the national anthem, getting everybody juiced up and ready to go for this race, Jared.
Yeah, I love always hearing that national anthem before the race. It's, that's something NASCAR is known for, and it's great to hear it.
So as we look onto the grid here, you got starting on the pole, Casey McMullin Sr. in the 71 with a time of 55.555. Fives across the board there, part of Steve Berry Racing. Wayne Grassy will be on the outside of row number 1 in the 5. In row number 2, it's Lane Allen and Ronnie Royal. In row number 3, it's going to be Russell Charneski and Jason Spear. Row number 4 will have Cooper Jr. along with Martin. And in 5, it's going to be Williford and Helm.
Yeah, and starting back there in row 6, Brody Hanna and Jacob Reeves, one of our rookies we've been talking about tonight. Row 7's got Joe Flanagan, last season's runner-up and Rookie of the Year, and Bernard Persson, who has won at this track before. Going into row 8, we got Paul Sargent and TJ Bartel. Row 9, we got Brian Bliss and Kevin Sargent. So the Sargents inside the top 20 for Rage and Moose Racing. Back in row 10, we have leading Rookie of the Year candidate Justin Kirby, alongside Baron Labasco making his season debut out there tonight in the Truck Series.
Yeah, really nice to see Baron out here for sure. You got Staubitz, McCanny, Benedict, Elder, Kirby, Hensley, Griffith, Loomis, Bratton, and Spear rounding out the field tonight.
And Dean, when I look at the track stats here, I'm gonna focus on two guys. Now, we were talking about some rookies, and we're talking about the points this season, but there's three guys that I think that you got to focus on. Bernard Persson, who's only finished outside the top 10 one time in 6 races. He has 1 win here. David Hensley, who has 3 top 5s here, the most out of all active drivers, plus a win. And Brody Hanna, whose worst finish in 3 events here is 7th place. I think those 3 guys are the guys you're going to have to keep an eye on as the pace car is pulling off.
Yeah, pace car in. They got that long stretch down to the start-finish line. Casey McMullin leading Wayne Grassy down to the start-finish line.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag down and away. 71's doing nice with the 5 of Wayne Grassy on the outside, getting a really nice run here.
Yeah, Wayne Grassy. There's a little bit of spacing on the bottom behind Russell Chernisky there. Looks like Terry Cooper Jr. did not get a good start, and that first 3 is really compact, and that's going to help Casey Mullen, I think, take over that top spot. You see some guys back in the back kind of playing it safe.
So I gotta say, it's kind of nice to see Casey McMullin out front here. No strategy tonight for the 71, Jared. We're used to those fuel mileage moves and all that. Here he is up front tonight.
Well, I think, it's funny because I was listening to Dale Jr., one of his podcasts this week. He's talking about giving some of the young guys in the real life series, asking for advice. And he said, the best thing you can do is just go out there and race. And I think that's what Casey Mullen's going to do. He's just going to go out there and race. Go out there and just put in 100% every lap, and I think that's the way you have to attack these super speedways, because you could get involved in a wreck either way it goes.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, if you want to look right now to the back of the field, you see Loomis and Hensley back here, Bill Benedict, Jeff Bratton, Brian Bliss in the race tonight. Good to see him out on the track as well.
Yeah, Brian coming back from some surgery, so great to see Brian back out there. But I do have it on good authority that the Team Ford cooperation, those guys are going to work from the back. They decided not to qualify, and they're going to work from the back.
Yeah, they're going to play it safe back there, you know, wait and watch and try to avoid the big one. Right now, though, up front, still McMullin. Him and he's got his teammate, Lane Allen, right there on the bumper.
And that's always good when you look up in your mirror and you know the guy that's right behind you is somebody that you've raced with and been on a team with for a long time. That's huge for you. It gives you a little bit of confidence to kind of make that move. But Wayne Grossi getting a nice push from Ronnie Royal on the outside.
Yeah, Ronnie's really sticking it in there. Maybe we'll go to like a chase cam here and see. You can see Ronnie Royal right there on him.
Ronnie really giving him a shot down the back straightaway.
He's going to take down to the inside. That's going to put Wayne Grossi out to the lead here.
A little bit of action toward the back. Looked like the 18 of Brian Bliss had to got on the apron a little bit there. No harm, no foul. Caused a little bit of a checkup for those last four guys in the pack.
Right now, status quo up here, except for Grossi making that move to the lead. It's Grossi and Royal, Spear and McMullin. They got Allen and Martin, but that outside lane early on looks like it's working pretty well here, Jared.
And now you've got three Spear guys lined up, or Spear associates. You got Jason Spear, Ronnie Royal, and Bernard Person there on the outside. That is Bernard Person on the outside there. Oh no, that's Jason Martin. I apologize, the number 9. So not all teammates there.
On board here with Lane Allen. Let's see if actually we can jump up to the high line here. We'll get a hop on board with Jacob B. Reeves and just watch what he's dealing with here. Jump back a little further here. Sorry, go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, and you can just see, like, when you watch these trucks on board, a lot of people think Talladega is just hold the gas and throttle and just make the turns, right? But there is a lot of movement there, and you can see it. You see these trucks moving around. They're very unstable in this high dynamic air package that we have currently on the trucks.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jared. I mean, you can just see the movement of these trucks, and we see Kevin Sargent move down to the bottom here, but they are really not stable at all. They're jumping out of line, especially on the high side here. You know, sometimes these guys catching a little air, but I don't think that's what we're seeing right now, Jared.
Yeah, but a big move from Ronnie Royal and Jason Spear, Dean. They rocketed to the bottom in front of Case McMullin, and those two steer guys are going to take over the lead here.
Yeah, I was watching in practice, and we seen Bernard Person, and I think it was Sherwood Williford, or no, it was David Hensley. They both look like they had rockets out there, so, I mean, that's going to bode well for all of those Team Spear members, and we'll keep an eye on all of them.
David Hensley, we got to give a shout out to him. I mean, yeah, he's great at Talladega, but he's having a career year in trucks and also in the Cup Series. So I expect that 43 truck to be up toward the front as we got somebody sticking out, maybe going 3 wide. They decide against it.
Yeah, all that wiggling out there, it's easy to do. You wiggle a little bit high, Jared, someone's going to have a run, and they don't know whether to fill that middle or not. I don't think they really want to right now, but they might be forced there.
Yeah, I think, you know, if it's Daytona, I think the hesitation to go 3 wide is a lot higher. But at Talladega, we can run 3 wide pretty comfortably. 4 wide is where it starts to get precarious. But I think when you're 7 or 8 laps into the race like we are right now, I just don't think that these guys are going 3 wide. But we've got some guys dropping toward the back. Look like maybe Joe Flanagan dropping back.
Yeah, and you're going to see that here and there. Guys just, you know, they don't like what's happening in front of them, and they start easing out of that throttle. And Flanagan he's moving up to the high side here.
Yeah, sorry, that was Randy McCanny, one of our rookies. He's made a few races this year, not completely in that Rookie of the Year hunt, but he was dropping back to get back there with Bill Benedict and Gary Griffith and Jeff Bratton there in those Fords. So those guys are just trying to pack up toward the back of the pack. So is Brody Hanna dropping back.
Yeah, Hen is the type of driver, he wants to be out front or at the back. I mean, and I think that goes for almost everybody. You just don't want to be stuck in the middle of this pack.
Exactly, and you see a lot of guys back there. You know, Hensley's back there. Obviously, the 4 Ford drivers are back there. Justin Kirby's back there as well. So there's a lot of guys riding back there. They're really good drivers that are just taking their time right now.
Yeah, a lot of guys. And you're going to see this for the whole part of the first run here as we're on lap 8 of 75. You know, they're going to try and get all the way to that first pit stop nice and clean. And that's where the racing starts. I virtually say it every time we're on these tracks, Jared. You know, no racing really begins until after those first pit stops.
Yeah, we're Casey McMullin making a move to the outside line, and he's going to leave his teammate, but that's might pay off for him to get back in the lead. He does lead that lap.
Yeah, he getting a big push from Ronnie Royal there with his teammates behind him. So Casey McMullin, I love it. He's out here to race tonight. He wants a win.
I think he was listening to the same podcast that I was listening to, because he is taking that advice that Dale Jr. has given to Harrison Burton and those guys to heart right now, and he's really racing hard. I love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see. It's also, you know, watching Ronnie Royal out here. Now, I'm no expert on what he's done on super speedways, but I don't think it's really been his forte. But tonight, he looks hooked up, and he looks like he's really got the hang of this drafting. I mean, he is locked on that bumper more times than not as Lane Allen jumps in front of his teammate.
Massive move from Lane Allen there in the 14. And those guys, I think they have a strategy. They're going to work together, and they're going to make this thing happen. Lane Allen going to get a bonus point right there across the line.
Yeah, they could all come down. I think all 3 of them could have come down there, but they're going to stay up here. They want the high side.
And going back to Ronnie Royal, I mean, you know, you look at his history, only 3 restrictor plates.
I am just amazed at what the Highline was able to do as Ronnie Royal jumps down low. He's got Spear with him, so both of them try down low. And Lane Allen and Casey McMullin have done what they wanted. They forced these guys to the low side. Will it work out? Only time will tell here.
What I find interesting, Dean, right now is we've had Jason Spear lead, and with Ronnie Royal pushing him. We've had Casey McMullin lead with Lane Allen pushing. We've had Wayne Rossi lead. And those guys are still in the first 5 cars, and yet they've switched around the positions about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, and the other good point about that is that those aren't teammates. Those guys are pushing other guys from other teams. I love to see that in racing. We're all here to race. These guys are racing tonight. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah, and it's basically double file all the way back to Brian Bliss there. And Donnie Staubitz, Paul Sargent. So the top 20 cars are two by two. After that, it's single file spaced out.
Well, we got a car a little up high. I think that was Jason Martin scooting up a little high. He's back in line. Looks like he's all right. It was either him or the 37 there, or was that the 57 of Jacob Reeves? One of those 2.
Well, those trucks look very similar, and Bernard Person's truck also looks pretty similar there, so they're a little bit confusing there for those trucks.
Let's get a look in on the Bernard Person now that you mentioned him. Maybe we'll hop in his cockpit and see how he's doing right here.
And Bernie where's he going to go at this point in time in the race? He's just kind of riding there, and you see how smooth he is on that throttle and the turns there, the steering wheel.
He's just taking it easy here. We'll try and get maybe the roll bar. We can see that wheel there. Just nice and smooth, taking it easy. Yeah,
right in front of him is his teammate Brian Helm. So those guys linked up already there as well. So a little bit of strategy going on in that Team Spear Camp / Smokey and Bandit Racing.
Yeah, and well, that's what you like when you have a team too, Jared. I mean, if you have enough guys and you're a little scattered, you want your bases covered. So you got a couple of guys out pushing for the lead. You got a couple of guys on the mid pack, and you got a couple of guys floating around the back. So you got all your bases covered. If there's an accident, the leaders might survive, or the guys at the back might survive. You know, there's a lot going on there.
Yep, and we see Baron Labasco dropping toward the back, so he's getting himself out of that pack of Hornets Nest. But I'll tell you a guy that's moving up, Dean, right now, and you look at that, it is, you know, Kevin Sargent up 9 spots and Brandon Elder up 10, but Jeff Bratton has moved up 16 spots from his starting spot.
Yeah, Jeff Bratton in the 55. He's been looking stronger and stronger this season, and he's got the freaky fast truck out here tonight, so watch out for the 55.
Yeah, a lot of big movers, and you know, Jeff's had such a good season so far, really putting it down, and he's known for really actually his dirt track prowess. Has always done well at Eldora in the truck series. We see somebody already in the pits. Did something happen to Kevin Sargent? No, he's back on. He just warped. Sorry.
Yeah, those little warps and that can really throw things for a loop. You get a little puff of smoke on the track too, and I can assure you, it scares the living daylights out of you.
Yeah, it does, and that's what we call mechanical failures over in the offline racing world compared to real life racing. So it's a little precarious for a second there.
It is. I had a 2080 mechanical failure. Right now, Ronnie Royal leading the way. Jason Spear pushing him on the outside. You got Lane Allen and Casey McMullin. You got Grassy's in there. Charneski making his way up into here now. Martin, Sargent, Reeves, Williford, your top 10.
And we have it on authority that they can go 30 to 35 laps on fuel here tonight. So that's what we're going to be looking at is when these guys are going to pit and how they're going to pit, because that's going to make all the difference. We could have a little bit of a fuel mileage race if these guys up front aren't saving a little bit.
Well, it's always interesting here. Now, I believe we used to do 70 laps, but I'm not sure on that. At 75 laps, I don't think these guys can make it to the halfway mark. But, man, we've seen people do it before, and maybe that's what's going on at the back here. Maybe that's what, you know, Bernard Person or a David Hensley or someone like that is doing. Even Brody Hanna at the back now. These guys saving fuel, perhaps, trying to make it to the halfway. Other guys, Jared, when do they pit? I mean, if you're convinced you have to pit, do you split this up and go 25 and 50, or do you try and run it dry?
I think I'm always in the strategy to always split it up as much as you can. We saw last night splitting it up worked out well in our other league we were covering, and I think that you have to do that when you have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, it's really, for me, it's really dependent on how many trucks you can get with you. If you're going to come in on lap 25 with one other guy, you're just not going to have the speed that this pack will have. So you've got to have at least like 5-6 guys committed to doing that strategy.
Oh yeah, exactly. And you look at guys back toward the back. I mean, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if the Spear team split strategy. You got 2 guys up front and you got 2 guys running around the 20th position. So I mean, split that thing up and see what happens there. But we'll see what happens here in a little bit as these guys are still getting racy. As Russell Chiniski might be taking over the lead.
Yeah, Charneski going to the point here. He's getting a good push from Lane Allen. And Lane Allen looking to go high. No, and he's into him. A little bit loose. Great save by the 20. Wow. You know, you think you're safe out front? You're going to avoid the wrecks? Not always the case, Jared.
No, Lane Allen was quick on the radio there. He was like, I didn't mean to do that. So they just got a good run there. But Russell Chiniski, he won one of those Daytona dual races earlier this season. So he knows his way around here pretty well.
Yeah, I think he was expecting Charneski to go low, but he never did. And, you know, we've seen Lane Allen and Casey McMullin do the same thing, staying on that high side. So these guys liking the high side right now. I think that's where you want to be late in this race, Jared.
Yeah, we've seen the high side get a run and go to the bottom, get a run, go to the bottom. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, let's get up against the wall, run the Richard Petty line, and see what happens and hang out there. Because I think the top line's actually the place to be right now.
We have Jacob Reeves.
Jacob Reeves is in the pits,
yes.
actually, Dean. Sorry.
Yes, I'm not sure what's going on there. Could be an early strategy call. Looks like he's
getting word that he was overheating, so he dropped back to the back of the pack, trying to cool down the temps, and I guess he said that he was overheating. I heard it on the racetrack.
All right, well, that's really unfortunate for Jacob. A little too much tape, perhaps, or a little damage, one of the two. But overheating, that's going to really be struggle for him to stay in this thing. I think he might even be calling it a night.
And that's a tough break for Jacob right there in the thick of that Rookie of the Year battle. But back up front, I mean, we got Jeff Bratton moving up into the top 10, but Brandon Elder also moving up too. I don't know if we mentioned him earlier, but he's up 13 spots from his starting spot right on the back of Jeff Bratton.
Yeah, Elder has been getting better and better. This is someone who used to win on a regular basis, and he is hunting for a win here soon. I mean, he just keeps looking better each and every week. He's made his way up 12 spots, and of course, right in front of him, bringing him along, is the guy you said, Jeff Bratton in the 55. He is up 18 spots.
Yeah, both these guys, Brandon and Jeff, I mean, they're not in the point battle. I mean, they're back over 80 points behind right now. What do they have to lose? Go out here, see what you can get done, and maybe sneak away with a win.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you got to be alive to win, but you know, it doesn't hurt to get yourself up some spots in a little better position here.
And I find it interesting because, you know, Bratton's running up there in that group, but all the rest of the Ford group that he's with has decided to go back to the back. So Bratton kind of abandoning that strategy, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, different guys, different strategies, and different levels of patience. You know, it's hard to just ride around the back for too long. But one thing I was looking at about the back here is nobody has lost this draft.
Yeah, they're just doing a good job back there. You got Steve Loomis back there from Steve Berry Racing, or Blackwater Motorsports, and Baron Labasco, Bill Benedict, Brody Hanna, David Hensley. Those guys, they're veterans. They've been around the block a few times. They're not going to get in any situation that's going to put them at risk, and they're not going to lose that draft either.
Oh, and there goes Charneski quickly down. Lane Allen almost following him down into the side of Ronnie Royal. He'll regroup there.
And that's going to check up that high side. Look how much time Lane Allen lost on that high side. So now he's got to regroup with Case McMullin, but Wayne Grossi might actually be able to get in front of there. So he dropped a lot of time.
Well, I think both Spear and Ronnie Royal might regret not taking that opportunity to jump up there and get a run on that outside, but it looks like it's too late now.
There he comes back. I mean, Lane Allen, I mean, he's a solid driver on these super speedways, known for his road course prowess. Don't count Lane Allen in these type of races either. He won our season opening race at Daytona, 2020A at Daytona.
Now, all these guys, I mean, virtually the whole field, Jared, but these guys up front can all get it done. Let's check in on our point leader here. Brian Helm, currently in the 17th spot. And he's just riding right now. He's just, you see the gap he's got in front of him. He's just taking it easy and waiting for those pit stops. He's got Bernard Persson right with him.
And Bernard Persson, I mean, he has definitely had the best statistics at Talladega. I mean, he's got one of two drivers to only have a average finish inside the top 10. Brody Hanna, the only other one. So, I mean, he knows his way around here. I expect Bernard Persson to be up front when it matters most.
Yeah, and I like where these guys are. Down on the low lane, leaving space. Their only job is to hit those brakes. They see something happen, you want to hit the brakes. You're on the low side, you can get way down low, even go through the grass if you want to, and avoid any wreck. Right now, lap 23 of 75, those pit windows are definitely open at this point. It'd be interesting to see if anybody goes with the early strategy.
Yeah, it really is, Dean, because I don't know what the thinking is just yet. I mean, we've been surprised on strategy a couple times already this week in some of the races, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens tonight. I really don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea either. I got to think there's some guys out here, like a Brody Hanna, you got maybe a David Hensley. These guys at the back, I really think they're going to try and stretch this to lap 38, but we're going to have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, that's strategy A, you know, trying to make it on one stop. Strategy B is basically split this thing up like you were saying, Dean. 2 stops. If you know you can't make it, go ahead and pit as early as you can, but you have to have a group because you don't want to come in with 1 or 2, even 3 guys.
It seems like we do have a lot of trucks heading down to the bottom here, with only 6 really up on the high side. Kirby a little further back on the high side, but maybe these guys are getting ready to pit.
Yeah, there's a lot of spacing going on back here too, Dean. That's getting really interesting back there around Brian Helm and Joe Flanagan.
Yeah, these guys have got to be late. Oh, and Lane Allen down to the inside. He's going to give that high side to his teammate. He's going to cut down in front of Russell Charneski and take the lead, put 14 Lane Allen to the point.
That's an amazing move these guys have been doing. They're not leaving a lot of room there, but they're making the moves happen, and it's exciting. But something to keep an eye on, Dean, they're going to catch Jacob Reeves here in a little bit, probably within a lap or two.
Yeah, that's always where it gets interesting, isn't it? Not only how you handle it, how smooth you can be on the line, but what Jacob Reeves does. I mean, he's got to be alert and ready to, I mean, generally speaking, guys go to the high side and let him down on the bottom, but I mean, that's not everybody does that, so we'll have to wait and see.
These guys really getting hairy there. Casey McMullin moves down to the low side. A lot of room there.
And I got to think these are all about pit stops. These two have proven they wanted the high side. They're down here. And look who's on the high side now. TJ Bartel in the 47. What a year he's having. Jeff Bratton up here now. 24 spots up. Here comes Brandon Elder. Wow.
Those three guys you mentioned, up 14, up 24, up 19, respectively. So these guys came from the back, and now they're up at the front. And you wonder what their strategy is going to be here in a minute.
Yeah, and they're bringing Brian Bliss along for the ride, too. Brian Bliss, former truck champion, back on the track tonight. That 18 machine looking good out here tonight.
These guys are definitely spacing out, Dean. I'm feeling a pit stop soon, but I'm surprised we haven't had anybody take that early option.
Here comes
somebody down low. That's Brian Helm.
That was the backstretch, Jared, so that wasn't a pit. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, Brian Helm coming out of off the start-finish line there. Didn't realize Kevin Sargent was there, and that's going to hurt Sargent.
Well, that was really unfortunate for Sargent. He might as well come in and pit right now.
I think he's going to be close to being able to catch that draft from Gary Griffith.
So I didn't get a look at that, Jared. Now, if you could tell the viewers one more time what happened exactly there.
Yeah, it looked like coming off the start-finish line there, Brian Helm was kind of shifted up to the middle groove, and Kevin Sargent stuck up underneath it there, and Brian Helm did not realize that Kevin was there, and luckily no wreck happened, but Kevin did get chased down to the apron.
10-4. So good job by those guys avoiding it. I'm sure nothing on purpose there whatsoever. And everybody going to stay clean and green here. And I think Sargent will maintain this draft barely.
Yeah, I think Gary Griffith kind of dropped just a little bit back to try to pick up Kevin Sargent there in the 09. So nice move by Gary there to kind of help Kevin get back up in this pack.
And that's a Class A move there from Griffith, a league move. You know, no fault of his own, the 09 here, and we'll bring him back into this fight. I mean, Kevin or Paul, I think Paul actually has won here before, or maybe it was at Daytona, Jared.
Yeah, it's Daytona, but I mean, you know, they've had some good runs here. Kevin Sargent really has had some solid efforts here at Talladega, so you always have to expect those guys to be up front when it counts. And TJ Bartel led that lap, so TJ getting that one bonus point.
Yeah, TJ, what an incredible run he's having this season. You know, racing that 47 all year, a little tribute car to his son. And it's just, he has been light years above any other year or any other season over the last couple of years. So TJ Bartel riding it, like I say, the tribute car, and it is working for him all year long.
Yeah, he's doing really great. And, you know, I work with TJ on Monday nights, Dean, and, you know, I think that one of the big things is he's been able to focus on just 2 series. And he's really doing good in our Thursday and Full Throttle Sim Racing's Xfinity series on Thursday nights. And it looks like Jeff Bratton's actually going to take the lead here. So Jeff Bratton up 27 spots with Brandon Elder up 22 right behind him. And Bratton's dropping down.
Jeff Bratton, what a night he's having. 27 spots up, takes the point. And now the 51 along with Brian Bliss on the outside. These guys all well-deserving and having a heck of a race out here.
But you see the pack getting more and more strung out, more and more single file. These guys are anticipating a pit any time now, and it's just like you can just feel the building.
You see, here comes our rookie leader now, too, Kirby coming into the picture. This is an amazing turn of events here. The way this outside lane continues to prevail, and pit stops are coming.
The Spear guys are in. So Ronnie Royal, Jason Spear, Brian Helm, Sherwood, Bernard Person, they're all in. Joe Flanagan and Paul Sargent are the guys in the pits right now.
Okay, so that's our first takers out here tonight.
And now Brandon Elders dropped down to the bottom line, so he'll lead a lap. So we've had already 7 different drivers lead a lap here tonight, or 8, sorry.
That goes hand in hand with the different winners in every race. We've had different pole sitters every race. What an amazing series this is.
Now who's going to be this second group? It doesn't look like it's going to be the race leaders. Is it going to be the Ford group? It is going to be the Ford group coming in.
All right, so you got Brody Hanna in, locking them up there on entry.
Yeah, only 4 of those guys with the Fords. Benedict, Gary Griffith, McCanny, and Brody Hanna coming in. There was a little bit of issue there on the pits there, but they are all clear. Benedict did not get in good in his pits. That's going to cost him. And now we got word Casey McMullin's heading in this time by.
All right, Casey McMullin. So far, Benedict really is going to be the one who's hard pressed. He had a pit issue there. That's a 26-second pit stop. Everybody else down and away all right.
Oh, Jeff Bratton might be stuck out by himself, Dean. He is. So that's going to leave 3 trucks. Chernisky, Tinsley, and Bratton.
Oh, and we got a wreck
on pit road. Looked like Kirby might have gotten turned.
That is Kirby. Nice recovery. He spins it around. But, man, is that going to hurt his chances. Out front, you got Bratton, Chernesky, and Hensley still out here. Hensley taking this chance to roll up this track position, close back in on these guys before he pits.
Yeah, these guys, I mean, none of these guys are on the same team, but now they have to work together no matter what, because this is going to be a tough sledding for these 3 drivers. Only 3 of them coming in.
It's not too bad. I mean, if they come in this lap, I don't think they're going to lose much time. They might be able to get in a little cleaner and a little harder here.
And I'm seeing they did a good job on the pit road entrance there. I believe Bill Benedict is way off the back here, and that's no good. Yeah, he just came around. He was actually a lap down. That's how much time he lost.
Wow, that's unfortunate. So everybody in on lap, 32, 33. Let's take a look at those pit laps, actually. So, yeah, lap 33 was the last guys. You got 30, 31, 32. But nobody is going to be able to make it. So, interesting they went this far, Jared. Nobody willing to break it up at 25 laps.
Yeah, and I think maybe that was part of part of it was, you didn't want to be out there by yourself. And you see those 3 trucks, Bratton, Hensley, and Chernisky leaving pit road right now. And hopefully they can get up to speed pretty quickly here, because they're going to drop toward the back of this pack.
Wow, that did not work, but I'll tell you who it did work for is Team Spear and Smokey and the Bandit Racing. You got Royal, Spear, Helm, and Person all together, 1 through 4, and they are looking to get away here. Looks like they got Williford with them as well.
Yeah, so all the Team Spear guys, and then right behind them, you got Joe Flanagan, who's kind of caught in no man's land. And then you have that second group, which is McCanny, Gary Griffith, TJ Bartel, Jason Martin, and Brody Hanna. So 3 of the Ford guys, Martin and Bartel, who are independents. And then you have a conglomerate of guys back there. That's where Russell Chernisky and David Hensley and Bratton are going to filter in.
Well, if these guys got any hope at all, it's the fact that they have Flanagan as that bridge truck who's going to kind of drag them up here. We'll see. I think they're going to be able to catch up, but I don't know.
Yeah, and there's always that debate, Dean, on whether you should pack up and run 2x2, or if you should go single file. And you see right now Martin and Hanna going on the outside of Joe Flanagan. I don't know if these guys are going to be able to catch back up to him.
Yeah, it's so difficult. You want to be single file as Brody Hanna leaves Martin But here to the high side, that looks like TJ Bartel comes up to the high side now. They're going to get back single file here, I think, but they really want to race.
Yeah, and you look at this, the first group of guys that came in, I mean, they are the ones that are out front right now controlling this field. And I just wonder if you did it a little bit earlier, if you had been able to control it a little bit more, and I just, I wonder if anybody's going to short pit the second time.
Yeah, I don't know. You need a big group is the big problem, but these guys, this whole group is going to get back up together. You can see here the last lap, that second group about a half second faster. So they're closing in, and I think the whole group, the second group, the third group, they're all going to close back together here.
And Brody Hanna leading that charge there. Joe Flanagan, Jason Martin right behind him up front. Status quo. Their spear guy's not going to jump out of line against each other right now, but they held the top 5 spots.
So as we wait for him to cross the line here and just see the gain, I'm sure it's going to be significant. Yes, another half second. They're there now. So we've got ourselves back up to pack racing here. It was close though. Those 4 or 5 trucks almost broke away, Jared.
Yeah, they did. I thought maybe they were going to break away, but the pack overcame.
Yes, indeed it did. And now Brody Hanna to the outside. He's not content. He wants more.
He's moving up there.
He's moving up in a big way. And Brody Hanna, he might have laid around for a bit, but this is a hardcore racer. He wants not only to win, he wants to lead laps. He likes being up at the front.
Yeah, he does. And he's, like I said, this is probably one of the best drivers at a plate track overall and at Talladega. And he's not going to say, oh, we got a wreck behind. I don't think that's going to bring out a caution. And that was Steve. Who was that?
That's Baron Labosco. Baron Labosco down and slow. He's coming around here, and I am not sure exactly.
It's Lane Allen. Oh, I see what happened. It's Lane Allen that started that wreck. And Baron Labosco tried to check up, and it looked like Bratton might have gotten the back of him.
Let's take a quick look at that. We'll see if we can get the replay of this wreck here.
So
you see Baron Labosco here riding, and no, he just hits the brakes. Wow, Lane Allen was already off track in front of him. I gotta take a look in here at Lane Allen.
So Dean, what
well.
happened here? It looks like it started up with Brian Bliss and Randy McCanny. It looked like Bliss got in the back end of McCanny. McCanny did a really good job saving it, and Brandon Elder got in the back of Lane Allen, unfortunately.
And then Baron Labosco was way behind that, and he hit the brakes just to avoid it, and he got hit from behind. So, wow, a lot of unfortunate incidents there going on.
Yeah, in the meantime, while we were looking at that, Jason Martin has swapped positions with Brody Hanna, and now he's leading that second group outside with Charneski and Hensley.
All right, as we get back to this live action here, Ronnie Royal leading, Martin second, Spear, Hanna, Helm, Charneski, Person, Flanagan, Williford, and Bartel in the top 10. We got ourselves about a 20-car pack here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Donnie Staubitz, Brandon Elder, and Baron Labosco all heading down pit road right now. I think they got a little damage out of that wreck.
Unbelievable for these guys. I mean, Brandon Elder having a great race, as was Lane Allen, as were a couple others. And I mean, this happens when you have pit stops, get broken up, you push too hard, whatever the case may be. And now these guys here are really, it's all theirs now. If they just want to ride this out, I mean, they're going to fight for the race win.
Yeah, and you look at Jeff Bradden now 14 seconds behind now because he slowed for that wreck. And then you have Lane Allen, who was involved in that wreck. He's 20 seconds back. So there's a lot of guys back toward the back that are going to have some trouble catching back up to this group.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of trouble catching up, that's for sure.
Jason Martin doing a good job on the outside. And we're back to basically our original pack. 17 trucks in the group.
So So you see Brody Hanna there on the outside. He's really pushing. The problem is behind him, Chernesky's not pushing as hard, or I shouldn't say Chernesky. I don't want to single him out, but that whole outside line not really working as a unit. It's really two trucks trying to fight the inside two trucks.
Exactly, and a lot of communication going on with these drivers trying to get everybody lined up here back toward the middle of this group.
So as we watch this now, and we're at lap 30 to 33 was our pit stop, Jared. You know, these guys, once again, I'm going to think they're going to run it all the way to another, so around lap 60 would be pit stops. And that's going to be your whole race. You know, pit stops, how many teammates do you have left? How many friendships did you make during the race or on pit road through your crew chief or whatever?
And Dean, I think, you know, you have to be smart about this second pit stop because we're looking at, you know, around, you know, these guys can go from around lap 60 to 66 on this second run, depending on when they came in. That's when our window is for the second round. And you think about that, that could easily put them around 10 or 12 laps to go in this, or 12 to 15 laps to go in this race. You got to think about making sure you get the right amount of fuel because you don't want to overfuel it, and you can end up taking just, you know, a two-tire stop and really get some track position.
Yeah, no, it's a great spot. I mean, you can take two tires, you can take no tires. I mean, but you need communication with your friends to make sure they're on the same strategy.
And I think that's, you know, honestly where the Spear Motorsport guys are going to benefit because they're all lined up, five of them lined up there on the bottom line, whereas, you know, you got some independents like Martin and Bartel, they're working together tonight. But then you have, you know, Flanagan, he's kind of by himself. Hanno is with the Ford guys, but he's separated with them. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys can get a strategy going.
It really is. We just check in on Jeff Bratton. Then you got Lane Allen, the Sargents, and Loomis back here. These guys are in deep, deep trouble here. You got to feel terrible for the 55 or Bratton there. He was having a great run.
Yeah, he was, and it just, you know, saw that wreck, and he, you know, Labasco saw it before Bratton did. But either way, even if Bratton did not get in the back of Labasco, I think he would have lost time there. But these guys are definitely going to be struggling here. But if they can get in a group tier, I mean, they're going to salvage something. And maybe this is a group that needs to think about coming in early.
It may be, but I mean, your main objective is to stay on the lead lap or stay in the lucky dog spot. You know, caution might not come out, but you need to be patient with it. It could happen in the last 5 laps. I mean, it could happen right near the end at the last lap. So, you know, you've got to really think it through. Never give up is the key.
That's true. And the other thing, you know, it's not imperative at super speedways, but there is a tire rule, obviously, 3 sets in the pits. Even if you use right side or left side on the tires, that does count as a full set. You don't get to mix and match or do anything like that. So if we do get some cautions and we already have some pit stops, there's going to be some interesting tire strategy out there, I think.
Oh, there will be for sure. I can't imagine anybody taking 4 with these trucks not handling the greatest. Maybe they want them. I don't know. So we ride along with Brody Hanna right now and just kind of watch how these trucks are moving around.
Yeah, you know, Dean, I've been racing this truck series all season. I have to say, back at the Daytona race, it was I think driving Daytona was harder than driving the road course or even like Bristol. It was so all over the place. The aero push was massive. The aero looseness was massive. It's just the aero package on these trucks is really difficult, and you can really see when you're looking on board Brody Hanna how much he's fighting with that car, and also trying to keep the air off of it too.
We just started looking back to Chernesky there, and you can see just how close he came up. We just jumped through a few of these camera angles here and see just how tight they are here. Wow.
And that second line is just not organized either, Dean. They're not able to make a move on the outside. Martin's not been able to get past Brian Helm on the outside, despite Brody Hanna's best efforts.
No, there's no willingness there, and that's fine. I mean, they're just riding, thinking, let's get to the next pit stops. You can see Flanagan's a little off of Chernesky a little off for Hanna. Behind them, I think that's Wayne Grassi, or is that TJ Bartel? on the
TJ
high.
Bartel up
So
there, yep.
TJ Bartel leaving space. Then you got maybe Casey McMullin. Very hard to see which cars are which here. Yeah, Casey McMullin leaving a big space. You know, Terry Cooper's on the bottom side there. He's leaving space. These guys are just riding. They're just waiting for that pit stop. They know this is virtually meaningless until after these pit stops, and they still got another 15 laps or so before they come in.
And that's the beauty of restrictor plate racing. I think that you can literally sit here and say that there isn't a way you can get way out in front unless you get a great pit stop. And if you get a great pit stop, like the Spear guys did, you're still caught back up 9 times out of 10. So really, it comes down to the last pit stop and your strategy and what you're going to do, and then hoping there isn't a caution if you get packed up again. But the way these guys are racing, I wouldn't be surprised if we stay in a pack.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. So we put up the other chart here and just look over and look back to Kirby and see that he is consistently still losing time. Now 37.5 seconds back.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing laps in the 51s as far as McCanny and Brian Bliss, those guys at the end of the tail here. Lane Allen and Kirby, they're only managing to get 54. So that's still 3 seconds a lap. In fact, it's so quick that the leaders might catch this group before we have our next pit stops.
That's an amazing difference. I don't know why they would be that far off the pace, but holy cow, is this pack ever running a torrid race?
And these guys are running full stop right now. I mean, you're talking 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds between McCanny and Allen that time by. So these guys really are struggling to find some speed out there in that second group.
Take a look back there now, and you see Kirby leading Allen. You got the Sargents right there, Benedict, Bratton, and Loomis all in there.
Yeah, and if you even look, Dean, I mean, they're just, I don't know what they do. I think if I'm back there, I'm starting to say, hey guys, we need to come in early and just gamble on something, because right now we're going to be a lap down in probably 10 laps.
Yeah, I have no idea at this point. I mean, I would just do whatever everybody else wants to do, but the main thing is, just do not. What's that?
Sorry, go ahead, Dean.
I was just saying, just again, never give up. Until you are a lap down or 2 laps down, you are not out of this thing.
No, you're 100% right. Sorry, there was a communication, did not see who it was, but I do believe we might have some takers on pit road this time by.
All right, interesting update there. So maybe the guys that you were talking about have listened. It's hard to say. I don't see our lead group coming in.
Yeah, nobody from the lead group. So might have been checking, not pitting. So I apologize there.
Oh, it's no problem. As we're down to 24 to go here, or 25 to go. We continue to ride under green flag conditions here at Talladega Super Speedway, and these guys starting to tighten up a bit here. There's nobody dropping off anymore. Like the guys at the back of the group, like McCanny, Bliss, McMullin, Hensley, they're all tight up there. They're not fading back at all.
Well, Dean, I'm going back to that lap chart between Ronnie Royal, our race leader, and Lane Allen, our leader of the second group. That gap has stabilized. Lane Allen now losing about a half a second a lap now, as that back of the first group is starting to get disorganized. So they're inching their time back, not enough to make something happen, but they were only a little less than a tenth slower that time by.
Yeah, and we can see here that, you know, the time is coming down. I mean, or at least staying around the same right now. So that's good for them. I mean, they still got hope.
I think that's all you need here too at Talladega is a little bit of hope. You know, it's a tough luck for Lane. I know that he's probably wanting to have a good race tonight. And just, you know, Jeff Bratton, Will Benedict's back there, Steve Loomis, the Sargents, they always show up at this type of track. But the big one, Justin Kirby, I mean, this could shake up that Rookie of the Year battle.
Yeah, it absolutely could. That's a great point. Kirby currently in 18th spot. And, you know, anybody who's up in the top group, I'm not sure if we have anybody
actually,
up there, Jared.
Yeah, actually, now that I double look at that, Benedict and Reeves are both behind Justin Kirby. So Kirby, despite having a tough night, is actually still out in front of those two Rookie of the Year contenders.
How unfortunate for them. I mean, the door is open to make up some ground, but just unable to capitalize tonight. Right now, it's Ronnie Royal and Jason Spear leading the way. Helm in third, our point leader. Jason Martin starting to make himself known in fourth place. Bernard Persson, Charneski, Bartel, Williford, Grassi, and Flanagan, your top 10.
Dean, do you wish you were out there right now?
What was that?
I said, Dean, do you wish you were out there racing right now?
Well, I do, but I mean, I don't know what I would do. I mean, it's so tough in these situations. You want to make a move. You want to go to the front. You want to go 3 wide. But there's a little voice in your head that keeps just saying, not yet, not yet. And that voice can overtake you for the entire race. You can be telling yourself that all the way to the checkered flag. Not yet, not yet.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We almost had some contact between the 20 and the 33 there, as it looks like we're starting to get grouped up here for that next round of pit stops, as the top line's only got 5 trucks in it.
Yeah, the high line is really starting to fade. It's really good early on in this race, but so far, nothing doing here during this second run.
It's going to be interesting, you know, Dean, when you think about these mega teams that we have here at FTSR, what their strategy really is going to be, you know, when this second pit stop comes down, because you have to have everybody on the same page. We've talked about same page on strategy, the same pit exit strategy. Everything's got to line up for you guys to have that team advantage.
Yeah, and it can be, you know, the more difficult thing about it is not a bunch of guys arguing like, let's do this, let's do that. But it's more the apathetic, like, oh, whatever you want, and nobody really takes control. You need a leader. You need someone to take control and say, we're doing this, and then everybody get in sync, get in line, and let's do it. And then you have a plan. Everybody knows what they have to do, and they can start to mentally prepare for it.
You're 100% right, and my guess is that's Jason Spear, the owner of Spear Motorsports. I'm sure that he's given those orders of what needs to happen here. That's typically his role at these tracks, and I think that he's going to make that call. And the good thing is that team really does work well together. I'm interested in seeing these independents, you know, Flanagan and Flanagan's got Justin Kirby, but Justin Kirby's way off the group here. I'm interested to see what these guys are going to do, because they're all broken up, and now they kind of have to rely on each other.
Well, that's something a great point. So let's take Joe Flanagan right now in the 53, riding on the high side. If I'm him, I'm thinking I got to be on the low side, because I'm coming in when the majority of people come in. I do not want to be trapped on that high side and watch that whole low side go in and pit, and I can't get down there. You know, so I would want to be on the low side.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and everybody except Brian Bliss on that high side there is basically by themselves. I mean, the independent guys, Bartel, Martin, and Cherneski are working together tonight, from what I understand. And Flanagan, you know, was working with Kirby, but Kirby's now 44 seconds behind this group. So I think that you're exactly right, Dean. We have to do monkey see, monkey do in this situation.
Not a whole lot of choice there as we check in with the chopper cam, and you can see those Spear cars on the low line 1 through 5, and they're in perfect position. They couldn't ask for more, except for maybe to get Hensley up here with them in line, but they're in great shape.
Yeah, and you know, I'm thinking here to myself, Dean, I'm wondering what's going to go on with Team Blackwater. I mean, you know, you got guys all over the place for right now. I mean, you got Brian Bliss on the high side. You've got Case McMullin on the low side. You've got Lane Allen off the pace now. Case McMullin, Terry Cooper's in this front group. I wonder what they're going to do, because they've kind of lost some numbers there.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, they got 3 guys, but they're all, you know, they're not really in the top positions here. And I bet you right now, you can tell the space that they have around them on the track, that they're probably talking right now. What do you want to do? Let's do this, let's do that. And they're in great shape. There's nothing wrong with where they are. They've just got to be extremely clean, get in and get out perfectly. They cannot lose these guys.
And we'd be remiss to talk about Wayne Grassi, also an independent there on that. And Gary Griffith, is he going to let Flanagan in? He's not. Yeah, he is. He is going to let him in, but that was that door was not open for Flanagan. But Gary Griffin, the discretion was the better part of valor there in letting Flanagan come down.
Yeah, it's Flanagan is safely in there now. You see Brian Bliss still up there, and he's basically all alone. He seems quite content up there right now.
Yeah, I think when you're the only truck on the outside, and especially, you know, he's probably trying to drop back a little bit here because his teammates McMullin and Cooper are toward the end of this pack, so he's probably in a good spot here. As this group that's some of these guys might catch the back end of this second group.
Yeah, you can see them starting to come in the picture now, so they're right there. I think they will, but you know, we're on 17 to go here of 75 laps. We're approaching pit stops here anywhere in the next 2 to 5 laps, and they're coming in.
Spear's in. Spear Motorsports is in. Who came with him? Blackwater did.
So a whole gaggle, as you like to say, has come in. They're all in safely, and we're going to stick with this group and just see if everybody can get down and in and whether they take tires or not.
So, Dan, it's all Team Blackwater, all Team Ford, and all of Team Spear except for Brian Bliss for Team Blackwater. He stayed out, so he's now with the Independents.
Oh, and Brody Hanna having major problems on pit road. This is going to be a disaster for the 23. Out front, McMullin coming out. Cooper's with him. You got the 21 of Griffith right there and Randy McCanney. So those 4 cars, the only guys to really get out good. Spear is going to be behind with Ronnie Royal, and boy, oh boy, I don't know what's going to happen here.
So now that the independent group, as we call them, they're coming in right now along with pack number 2. So all those guys from the second pack coming in too. So Lane Allen, the Sergeant, Steve Loomis, all coming in with this the lead group of independents.
Yeah, we see.
And Casey Mullen, I think, is going to be our de facto leader with Gary Griffin right behind him, and Terry Cooper.
And Brian Bliss had real trouble on his pit too, so that's going to be disaster for him. Russell Cherneski down and away. He's alone. He's got Loomis with him. That's about it.
And looking here, I mean, you got the 3 trucks. Terry Cooper must have got a penalty, Dean. He's coming back in.
Oh, no. Terry Cooper is in. This is going to be disaster for his championship hopes here. So unfortunate.
So now back up front, the Team 4 drivers, McCanney and Gary Griffith from GT Performance SimSport, they're moving up on the high side trying to get around Casey McMullin. They have a large gap back to the Spear guys. I don't know if this is the good strategy or not for them. Griffin's going to go down.
I'm not sure what's going on out here quite yet. Out front, Russell Cherneski has managed to grab the lead. The 20 truck, him with TJ Bartel.
That's massive. TJ Bartel is going to get caught by the second group, but Russell Cherneski, those 2 lap trucks, those 2 Blackwater guys, Lane Allen and Steve Loomis, are helping this 20 truck because, I mean, they don't have anything to lose at this point. They're a lap down. And Russell Cherneski, very lucky that they came in with that group.
How did Russell Cherneski jump the field like this? This is amazing.
So now we have Griffith and McCanney chasing him down. That's going to have Casey McMullin behind him. Cycling back in, we got Wayne Grossi with the Spear guys. So the Spear team is coming, but they are going to get held up just a little bit. And now we're going to have a bigger pack, I think, Dean, because some of that lap traffic that they were catching is now going to be part of this group.
Yeah, we're going to have lappers in between guys on the lead lap. This is going to be wild, folks. We only got 14 laps to go, so it's only a limited amount of time for these guys to get it done. Up front, Cherneski with the 2 lap cars pushing. He's going to have 2 more trucks come in and join him. That's Kirby there. Looks like Bratton's with him.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting to see what happens, what alliances are out there. I see Gary Griffith trying to pick up a draft on Bill Benedict, one of his teammates there. He does a good job there. They're trying to chase down Russell Cherneski right now. Jacob Reeves going high.
Wow, Russell Cherneski leading this. Gary Griffith shown in second place. He's all the way back in this second group. And he's got a car in front of him as well as that car moves to the high side to let him go.
And that's going to block up the spear guys who are making the move on the outside, leaving Casey Mullen in the slip hole there. But that's going to actually slow up the spear guys with Bill Benedict moving up there a little bit. He does move out of the way before they catch him, but
Yeah, that's going to hurt McMullin, I think, more than anything. McMullin going to slip in between those spear guys, or try to.
But that's working out for Gary Griffith because now he's catching up to the back end of Steve Loomis, and he's got a full head of steam.
Wow, so much intrigue here. Now this pack reformed up. Chernesky leading the way. Griffith second, but he's got 5 trucks or 4 trucks between him and the leader.
And this is huge. If you're Gary Griffith, if you're, Jason Spear might be the catbird seat because he's going to go on the high side right behind Bratton and Kirby, those 2 Fords out there. And actually, he might go 3 wide. We're going 3 wide.
Yeah, the Spears are not holding back. They're going to take it to the high side here. You got Spear and Royal and McMullin up there.
I don't think that move is going to pan out at all for them.
It's only going to pan out if Kirby allows it to pan out. He might back out and say, you know what, I'm a lap down.
It's Hensley, it's McKinney.
Caution is out.
Oh, man, McCanny.
Our leading rookie at the time, hard hit into the fence. And my start with TJ Barteldine.
Let's get a look back and see if we can see what happened here. Oh, and you see TJ, a little nudge to the 43s, and that turns that 2 truck up. Let's get another look from that. We'll try from the chopper cam.
Oh, I'm sure Wilford got a hard hit too.
So here we go, the chopper cam. I'm gonna back it up a bit more. You see the 47 in the yellow truck, low, behind the 2 of Randy McCanny. McCanny moves up a little bit, so does TJ, but he doesn't come with him. He gets into the 43, gets into the 2, and a couple other guys get some damage out of that. Wow. Wow,
That's
wow.
pretty insane here.
It was definitely insane, and we're on 10 to go. Now, how about those lappers? Who is going to be our lucky dog here? I mean, the one guy I know this helps for sure is Brody Hanna. Brody Hanna had the terrible, terrible pit stop, and now he's going to be right back in this fight, and he's going to be hungry.
I believe it's going to be Lane Allen is going to be our lucky dog.
Yep.
Which is huge for Lane Allen because we saw how fast he was, but he got involved in that single car wreck that did not bring out a caution. Man, this whole race has kind of gotten turned up on its head because, there's some contenders that got taken out there. Hensley.
Those are my thoughts exactly, Jared. I mean, it's speechless.
What can you say?
It's just speechless, man. Green flag action. Well, I don't think we were prepared for that wreck. I mean, we should have been. It's inevitable here, and it's happened. And now, I mean, like you said, it's flipped on its head. We're going to get everybody lined back up in the proper order, and there's going to be some heavy fight, and these Spears are right back in it. And, with Ronnie Royal and Bernard Person, and you got Blackwater with Casey McMullin from Steve Berry Racing, and it's just going to be an amazing fight here. The Ford guys are up in here with Griffith. Is Flanagan a Ford guy as well?
No, he's on the Chevy team, and we do see Lane Allen get that lucky dog officially here.
Yeah, Lane Allen will get the lucky dog, so that'll bring some help to Casey McMullin. Jason Martin up in here. Brian Bliss on pit road right now is Brian Bliss. So you got Hannah on pit exit. You got Bartel and Hensley pitting. Williford and McCanny getting some damage fixed.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if any of these guys make a move here. Oop, and
I'm not sure if Hensley's going to make it out. All right. So Hensley's still sitting on pit road. Cherneski creeping around the track here. Right now, we're showing, when we include Lane Allen, that'll be 13 trucks on the lead lap. TJ Bartel now coming out. That'll be 14. But Hensley remains on pit road. Looks like his night's over. That's unfortunate for David. So let's try and get this set here as we look in on Russell Cherneski, our race leader. What a pit stop he had. An unbelievable pit. Second place going to be Jason Spear. Behind him, Ronnie Royal, part of that Smoky in there. He's part of Team Spear as well. You got Casey McMullin, part of Steve Barry Racing. Our point leader, Brian Helm, right there. He's part of Smoky and the Bandit Racing. Bernard Person, another Team Spear driver. Gary Griffith be sitting in 7th, part of the GT Performance Sim Sport. You know, Wayne Grassi, Team Florida. Joe Flanagan in the 53, an independent. And Brian Bliss up in 10th spot, part of Blackwater. As you see him moving forward here and getting lined up. We'll look through a few more of these guys. Get back here to TJ Bartel behind Brody Hanna and Jason Martin. You got Lane Allen. That's going to be your lead lap cars for this restart. We're only going to have 8 laps to go, I believe. It's going to be an amazing shootout here. They've been sitting here running green flag, you know, minding their P's and Q's and taking it easy. And now it's race time. We get them all lined up. There's going to be no holding back.
Looks like we're getting lined back up here, aren't we, Dean?
Yes, we just went through everybody. We're all lined up and we're ready to go here. And Jared, the action is going to be heavy here. I mean, this is what you die for. This is what you live for, I should say. But you could die out here on these restarts. You got 14 lead lap cars lined up nose to tail, you know, side by side as well. And they are going to fight to the finish here. With right now 8 to go, we'll be 7 to go here.
Yeah, and you know, Dean, we can't even consider that wreck a big one. I mean, there was only 3 trucks involved in that wreck. So now it's everybody's packed back up, even the lap cars. This is going to get really dicey, I think.
Oh, it's going to get dicey. There's no doubt about it. But these guys are quality drivers. I don't expect them to do anything too crazy. When I see David Hensley has made it out of the pits here, and he, I believe, is shown on the lead lap. So Hensley is going to be alive and fighting here. That'll put 15 trucks out here fighting.
Yeah, and pace car's pulling off.
Yeah, pace car's up. They're going to slowly creep to the line. Hearts pounding, Jared. And they're ready to go here. So 20 leads the 83 down to the start finish line.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag drops, 20 down and away, 83 on the high side, doing a nice job. He's got McMullin with him. These guys are going to fight going down into corner number 1.
And this is going to be huge to see who's going to get that edge with McMullin trying to push Jason Spear. But that Spear group kind of broken up now, and it's going to be really interesting to see what they can do here. But I think right now it's whoever's behind you is your car. Good run outside from Jason.
Yeah, here's the question. Does the outside go and take it over, or do they lay back and try and get Ronnie Royal up to that high side? I like what I'm seeing so far. They're racing it out. I mean, it's been done many times before where that team will try to get their guys lined up together. We'll see if that's the case here.
Yeah, and you're thinking about this. We got our points leader, Brian Helm, in this group. He's up there. We haven't talked a lot about him tonight.
Yeah, Brian Helm, just a solid driver, leading these points. Going to have a solid finish here. He's going to maintain that points lead one way or another. But lots of guys in here. We don't know who's going to win this. And actually, he can get in a wreck still, so this is far from over.
Now, Dean, you've seen these guys earlier. There was a lot of space between that low line and the high line. Now that outside line definitely crowding that inside line, trying to get a little bit of a side draft on it. It's a little more a less give and take, I guess you could say, in restrictor plate terms.
Yeah, absolutely. Give and take is out the window here as we continue to ride here. Russell Charnowski, our race leader, doing a great job. Ronnie Royal has been pushing virtually all night long and doing an excellent job. And there he is. He's made it in front of his teammate now. And you're going to see that outside line take off now as you see Spear immediately get up on the bumper of him.
Ooh. And Dean, the race communication, there's some guys not happy about that move by Ronnie Royal. So, but that's racing, right?
Well, I don't think Ronnie Royal did anything wrong. I don't think anybody did anything wrong. That's part of super speedway racing. That's just a fact of, you're waiting to get lined up with your teammate. They made it happen. Here we are, 5 to go. It's going to open up that outside lane for McMullin and others up there. We'll see what they can do. Oh, and there's a wreck. Lane Allen again, loose. He saved it.
Save it. Holy cow.
What an amazing save by Lane Allen back there. Not sure what happened. We're sticking with our leaders here. Looks like these guys checked up a little bit, and this pack has broken up.
Yeah, that, looking at it right now, it looks like Kevin Sargent got into the side of Lane Allen. How they did not wad him all up is unreal. But Lane Allen, what a whale of a save there as we go back up front.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job of saving it all night long. He just can't buy a break tonight. But right now, Russell Charnowski and Casey McMullin trying to fight back on the outside against Ronnie Royal and Jason Spear.
Now the key is, you look on that third car there, that's Bernard Person, I think. How much is he going to push?
Well, these guys are racers, you know what I mean? When it comes down to it, you're going to race. With 10 to go, yeah, you might have tried to get lined up a little bit. Who knows? Maybe you didn't even try. It just happened. But I guarantee you, these are all race car drivers. Bernard Person wants to win. He's going to push. He's not going to lay off here.
And the outside line's getting a big run there, but it's only the 20 and the 71 right now.
Yeah, the rest of these guys are getting grouped up here. I mean, it's so difficult here to continue to get these runs. They got to get it done here quick. We're coming down to 2 to go.
Brian Bliss and Brody Hanna making it 3 wide back here, Dean.
There they are on the outside. I applaud the effort. Let's go. Those guys don't want to push. Maybe these guys want to push. Looks like maybe Terry Cooper Jr. going to try and slide up in there.
Yeah, they need at least 2 more guys. I thought maybe the Sargents would go up there, but they didn't do it. Raging Moose decided to go to the low side. But Brody Hanna and Brian Bliss, they're making a little bit of ground up there on the high side, but they just need 1 or 2 more trucks.
Yeah, they need some help up there. And there
Terry
comes
Cooper's
Cooper
going.
now. We're on 2 to go here, and we got 3 wide.
Now, if we can just get one of those Sargents up there, maybe 2 of them, we might be able to get something going here. Brian Bliss, would this be a comeback for him?
Brian Bliss on the high side. Chernesky leading the middle. And then you got Ronnie Royal leading the race down on the low side.
Dean, what are the odds that this thing is going to... Oh, we got some guys blocking all the way down to the yellow line. And that's going to split up this pack.
Wow, that's going to split it up. That's going to allow that run. Here comes Brian Bliss on the outside with Brody Hanna. They got Cooper with them. They got a big run coming out.
Are we going to have these trucks intact when we come across the line, Dean? And Sargent's moving up to the high side. We're going to get 4 trucks out there. Brian Bliss led that lap. White flag.
Wow, white flag. High side leading the way. Middle line coming on. Down low, it's Ronnie Royal fighting back. That high line's starting to get a little shaky.
They just get one of those Sargents back up there. The outside line can make something happen.
They got 1 more shot, 1 more corner to get it done here. Ronnie Royal leading, pushing is Jason Spear. You got McMullin and Chernesky in the middle. Bliss and Hanna up high.
I think they can still do it, Dean. I think they can still do it.
They need to get one heck of a run here. Here they come. Here comes the 20 with Casey McMullin up high. Oh, they're working.
That's going to take care of Cooper.
It's Ronnie Royal and the 20 of Chernesky down the middle. It's too close to call at the line. Wow. What a finish.
I think it's Charneski.
I think it's Chernesky at the line. We're going to have to take a look at this. We're just going to rewind this on live, and we're going to have another look at this one, folks. We'll go to the chopper cam for this.
And Dean, I'm getting word that Brody Hanna blew up in the tri-oval. That's what caused that wreck.
Oh, wow, that's just terrible. So here we go. From the chopper, down low to the 24, in the middle of the 20. You can see him neck and neck, pushing hard as the 71. 71 dives to the middle, and there it's over. Try and get this in. Trying to get a little bit of a slow motion here on here.
Our timing is saying that Russell won, but we're also hearing reports that Ronnie Royal might have won this race.
Yeah, well, that happens on occasion. The timing we have, believe it or not, is super accurate down to the thing. iRacing is very accurate, but anyway, whenever it's a tie like that, there might be a discrepancy. But right now, it's going to be Ronnie Royal, your race winner. Russell Charnowski taking third. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think you can get any closer than that, Dean. Holy cow. And you see right there in the tri-oval, Dean, Sargent, Terry Cooper and Sargent got together back there. That slows down that upper line. But then right before they come across the end there of this tri-oval, Brody Hanna blows up, and that pretty much ends Brian Bliss's chances there.
Wow, that was just hold your breath stuff there, Jared. Unbelievable finish. Let's get in and take a look at these results. So Ronnie Royal will take that win for Team Spear. A great job. Russell Charnowski doing everything he could there. Part of wheeling and dealing racing. Just an excellent race. McMullin will come home third and make up a couple of points in that championship battle. Jason Spear will be fourth. Great night for him. Brian Bliss returns. Top 5 for him. Excellent ride. Helm, our championship leader, will be in sixth. Person in seventh. Griffith, Hanna, and Flanagan round out your top 10.
And Lane Allen recovers for an 11th place finish after being involved in 2 wrecks that didn't bring out cautions tonight. Jason Martin, Wayne Grossi, TJ Bartel, the last cars on the lead lap. Terry Cooper comes home 15th despite being in that wreck toward the end of the race. But what more can you say, Dean? I mean, unbelievable finish.
It was beyond unbelievable. I can't believe what we just witnessed out here. I mean, it just keeps happening to us. These finishes are just unbelievable.
And I have to say, Dean, I mean, I was pulling hard for Brian Bliss there. What a way to come back to the series after being out for over a month. It would have been great to see him in victory lane. It has been a long time since he's been in victory lane, but congratulations to Ronnie Royal. But what a finish we had.
Yeah, man, we did. It was just super exciting. Now, these points now are up to date, sort of. A couple of lead lap points might be in there to change it up a bit. But Helm now down to an 11-point lead over McMullin, and add another 4 to that, so it'll be 15 back to Person. Terry Cooper dropped down to 4th now, and Ronnie Royal in 5th place.
Yeah, big move for Russell Chernesky, moving up 5 positions up into unofficially 8th place. So he's got himself back into that championship sort of conversation here. But a tough break for some of these guys back here. Lane Allen just moved up 6, but he could have had a whole lot more tonight.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct there. But right now, let's take our break to catch our breath, Jared. We'll take a short commercial break. We'll come back and we'll have interviews with our top 3 finishers. right, welcome back to Talladega Super Speedway in the Blackwater Products USA Truck Series. An unbelievable finish we had once again here. Too close to call at the line between Ronnie Royal and Russell Charnowski, the 20 of Russell Charnowski taking the win. Just unbelievable with that high line trying to go too, and with Brody Hanna blowing an engine. All kinds of action, Jared.
Yeah, Ronnie Royal grabbing that win by just the fourth decimal place there. So extremely close finish there. Russell ending up second. So close. But hey, Dean, that makes 8 different winners. And I think you're down there with our third place finisher, Casey McMullin.
Yeah, I got the 71 Casey McMullin Sr. third place tonight. I know you wanted more, but congratulations on a great finish, Casey.
Yeah, thanks, Dean. I think I did rather well with what we had left of our teammates, so pretty happy with the finish.
Yeah, you were down a couple of teammates for sure. Lane Allen, all kinds of bad luck out there tonight. Terry getting shuffled out. He was with you a bit. Brody Hanna blew his engine there. But let's talk about the end of the race. You're riding in the middle. You're pushing there. You're pushing the 20 of Charnowski, doing all you can. Here comes your teammate, Brian Bliss, with Brody Hanna out on the outside.
Yeah, that was great. Brody was practicing the third lane there, and those two got hooked up. Man, I was thinking about getting up there, and I don't know if it would have worked, if it would have dragged the other lines down whenever they were on the front stretch, but I just felt like that inside line had a little bit better run and wouldn't have made it. So I was trying to get the most points I could out of the situation.
Yeah, well, you did that. You closed in on the championship here, so you're going to move a couple points closer to Brian Helm now, and you're having a great season. But let's go back in this race a bit here. Early on, here you are. You're on the pole tonight, Casey. Very impressive.
Yeah, that was quite something else. I literally loaded up another setup from an older setup for qualifying because I didn't have anything, and it just was fast, I guess. That was a one lapper, because I didn't have enough time to do the 2 laps, and it was fast. And I wanted to start. I wanted to qualify tonight because I just had that feeling it was going to be tough to get up there. But I guess Brandon had some success going from 25th to the front, so I guess it wouldn't mattered. And I didn't think we'd have a caution.
Yeah, a little shout out to your teammate there, the 51, Brandon Elder. Having a great run, just some unfortunate luck for him. But not for you, Casey. A great night, man. You're going to take third place anytime you come to a super speedway. You've got to be happy to walk away with that.
Oh, yeah. It's great. Great. I always try to, super speedways, I like to hang out in the back and stuff like that to try to points race. And I did a little different tonight, and I still points raced, so it was fun.
Yeah, man, it looked like you had a lot of fun. And, Jared was saying maybe you'd been listening to the podcast from Dale Jr., because Dale Jr. was saying for his tips for super speedway racing, just go out there and race.
Well, you guys might have found out my secret there.
Well, there you have it. Casey McMullin, third place tonight. Casey, you got any shout-outs, man? Floor is yours.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Blackwater Products USA for sponsoring our team, and Steve Barry he's the owner and everything, and thank him for putting on this great show that we get to do here. And you guys up in the booth, you guys do such a great job. Brody Hanna with the ownership of the league and everything, and all the admins, all the drivers. This place is so great to run. Everybody's real respectful to each other. So, and thank my family, number one. So, and God, great. Yeah, I'm gonna thank God. How about that?
Beautiful. I love it, Casey. Jared, that's a 71 Casey McMullin Sr. third place finish tonight.
Yeah, what a run for Casey. And I'm down here with our second place finisher, Russell Charnowski. Russell, what a race tonight, man. I mean, you came up just short.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was very exciting. And wow. I think I want to split the money, the earnings there with Ronnie. It was a 0.000. I think I'm a co-winner, right?
Yeah, we couldn't tell on the broadcast. Our telemetry was saying you won, and then the end game was saying Ronnie won. And then after looking at that replay, it ended up being Ronnie by just a couple of centimeters. But take us through we'll start at the end of that race. I mean, what were you thinking there at the end? Kind of getting the Spear guys got together there, and you kind of dropped back a little bit. Did you think you're going to be able to make a run there?
Well, yeah, I knew I had a strong truck there. Pretty much 90% of the race was just logging laps, just waiting to get in the end, get yourself in the right position. On that green flag pit stop, I had an outstanding pit stop, came out in first, and then I saw those guys coming in my mirror on the top side there. I knew they were going to have momentum. I was just actually going to get ready to jump up in front of them once they got to me, but then that yellow came out, and that was actually my advantage there because getting that restart and hold them off on the bottom, and it just got all mixed up there. And I had a strong truck, and I thought I was going to win it, and I should have ran out of Ronnie's door a little tighter. They're coming to the start finish line. I probably would have beat him, but we'll take second. It was exciting and very fun.
Yeah, it was a crazy race from our vantage point, especially once that caution came out. But right there, right before that caution, you came into pits. You came in with 3 lead lap cars, Jason Martin, David Hensley, and yourself. And you came out, and you were the only lead lap car. You came out with a couple of lap down cars. I mean, you have to say you got a little bit fortunate there to come out with those guys.
Oh, yeah, that was outstanding. Like I said, I had a good pit stop, and I realized that those guys were a couple laps down, but as long as they stayed behind me, we were going to maintain a good race speed. So I was happy about that. And then the yellow came out, just changed everything up. But we'll take second.
Well, it's a good run. And, you won earlier at Daytona and one of the dual races earlier this year. So you definitely know your way around the super speedways. But Russell, what a race you had tonight, man. I'll let you have the last word tonight. Congratulations on runner-up.
Yeah, congratulations to Ronnie. He has been very strong on the plate tracks. Casey, too. He had a phenomenal qualifying run. And, I'd just like to thank Wheeling and Dealing. Tim couldn't make it tonight. And, of course, you guys for doing a broadcast. And like I always say, this is an outstanding group. Very fun league, and I love running here.
Yeah, Dean, what a finish tonight. I mean, couldn't even put a piece of paper between them. But I think you're down in victory lane with the guy that came out the Valor.
Yeah, and he's got that piece of paper in his car. The number 24, Ronnie Royal, tonight's race winner. Ronnie, congratulations, man.
Thanks. This was a fun race, guys. I didn't know who was going to win. I had to wait for my crew chief to call the win there. I just drove for the checkered flag and looked up and got the win on a basically a few inches, it looked like.
Yeah, we had to wait for your crew chief to call it as well, Ronnie. So let's talk a little bit about the race there. We were watching you early in the race, and I was saying, now my memory's not great with what you've done at super speedways, but I don't remember you ever pushing the way you were pushing tonight. You were locked on bumpers and doing a fantastic job of pushing all night long.
Yeah, this car, the truck in particular, with the the basic engine or the crate motor there, it's just not got a lot of RPM, so you got to stay with the guy to keep the momentum up and keep the engine running. We decided to pit early just to get out of that first pack, and then we kind of set the tone for everybody else to pit on for the rest of the race. So that, I think, pitting early here is critical to getting back out front. It's always done me right anyway.
Yeah, we've seen that early in the race. You guys got out there. You got your group together. I believe there was 5 of you guys, all teammates or pseudo teammates, and you had a little lead. Were you thinking breakaway at that point?
Well, I mean, yeah, and you're at that point you're hoping for, but with the car, the setup now, and the aero on this truck, it's just not going to happen at this. With one caution there, or one green flag pit stop, but that's obviously always the goal.
Yeah, for sure. But then we get to the second pit stops now. Again, you guys are all lined up. You're all together. But all of a sudden, somehow, Russell Charnowski ends up way out front, and he's got a little help from a couple lappers. It must have had you guys concerned.
Yeah, that was tough getting through that pack. We initially, we thought we came out deep in the field, but you're in the moment, not looking at the position on the track, and we at that point realized they were lap down cars and Russell's leading, and then the caution comes out. So at that point we're like, oh, we're running second, third, fourth, and fifth, and we're great at that point.
Yeah, you guys were great all night, man. What a job you guys did. You had at least 5 cars at one point all lined up on the bottom. You look great. Now we come to the end of the race, Ronnie, and what an amazing, amazing finish. You're running the low line. You got the middle line with McMullin and Chernowski. You got the high lines coming hard. They actually led the second to last lap with Bliss and Hannah out there. What are you guys thinking? Are you just thinking, I mean, this is where we are. We're going to stay here and just give it all we got?
Yeah, at that point you've got to commit to it. I mean, we kind of discussed some strategy before the restart, and at that point it's like I knew the teammates behind me were warm on motors, so we had to commit to that bottom line and just hope the speed of the set tonight just took us to the win.
Well, it did just that, man. And I mean, just barely, Ronnie. We couldn't call it up here. What an amazing finish. A great job by you and your teammates all race long. Big congratulations. Winner here, the Talladega 200, man. Just an awesome job all night long. And we'll give you the floor, man. Anybody you want to thank.
Yeah, as always, I want to thank FTSR for putting on a great league here. A lot of good talent, and there's various drivers that can win at any given night, any given series. Great group of drivers here. They want to thank Blackwater Products for the Truck Series sponsor televising this. It's not many leagues has a televised race for several different series. Always thank my teammates. As had a good run tonight. A lot of good teamwork and a lot of good clean racing up front. Everybody ran tight, but they were respectful of each other.
Well, Jared, there you have it. Our race winner, Ronnie Royal, in the 24 machine.
Yeah, what a job by Ronnie Royal there at the end of that race. And what I like most is the fact that we had Brian Bliss up there. That was crazy. The third line was coming, and now we have this is our 8th race. We've had 8 different winners, and we've had 8 different pole setters. That's unreal what's going on in this truck series this year.
Yeah, it's kind of special, man. You don't see this. You usually see one driver with 4 or 5 wins or something. To have 8 different winners, 8 different pole sitters, it's mind-boggling is what it is.
And even crazier is those guys, some of those guys that have won races. We still have Bernard Person hasn't got on the win list. We still have TJ Bartel, Terry Cooper, Justin Kirby. These guys are in the top 10 in points, top 5 in points. Some of these guys haven't got a win yet. I mean, that's unreal, the competition, Dean. And, going into, I think, Charlotte next week, that's going to be a really crazy race just as much as we had here tonight, Talladega.
Oh my God, yes. I can't wait to head into Charlotte, man. It is going to be an amazing thing. And we'll have all that action right here on Full Throttle TV every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. We got this Blackwater Products USA Truck Series. Of course, as I go through the list of what we got a full schedule on tap for everybody on coming up. We've got Sunday night. We're going to have ISRA racing in the FEG PC series, the Xfinity series there. On Mondays, we have the Dark Matter Designs Cup series with Full Throttle Sim Racing with Jared Carr right here. We'll be in the booth with TJ Bartel. And on Tuesdays, we got No Limit Racing in their Thunder series. And that is an amazing one. Me and Jared will tackle that series. So come stay with us. Always check out Full Throttle TV. We're always on here, and we're always trying to put on a good show for you guys. We thank you for all your support. But for tonight, for me, Dean Doucette, and for Jared Carr, and for Full Throttle TV, that's going to wrap it up. We'll see you all again next time.